The co-defendant of Aaron Hernandez takes a plea deal in the 2013 death of Odin Lloyd. Now, Carlos Ortiz, he's 30 years old. He changed his not guilty plea and pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact for helping Hernandez after the fatal 2013 shooting. In return, the prosecutors dropped the murder charge, and Ortiz was sentenced to 4.5 to 7 years in prison, finally bringing a conclusion to the proceedings related to Lloyd's death. Now, Odin Lloyd was a young man who had his whole life ahead of him, according to Bristol County Mass District Attorney Thomas Quinn in a press conference release. He did not deserve to fall victim to the brutal and truly senseless murder committed by Aaron Hernandez and covered up by his co-defendants. Hernandez, Ortiz, and Ernest Wallace were all initially charged with murder in the death of Lloyd, whose body was found dumped and riddled with bullets on June 17, 2013. Lloyd was last seen alive in a rented car with the three men around 2:30 a.m. that day. Surveillance footage showed a vehicle pulling into a park moments before Hernandez shot Odin Lloyd multiple times, prosecutors noted. Now, a marijuana blunt with Hernandez DNA was found near Lloyd's body, as well as a white towel that Ortiz was seen wearing in the surveillance footage earlier that evening. Now, the exact motive of the murder is still not clear. Now, Hernandez, as we know, he was first convicted in April 2015. And he was sentenced to life in prison for the first-degree murder. Now, he is also still waiting trial in Boston for a double homicide of Daniel Abreu and Safiro Furtado, both of whom he is accused of murdering after one of the men bumped him in a Boston nightclub, causing him to spill his drink. Now, Ernest Wallace, a couple months ago, he was acquitted of murder. Actually, that was back in May, and he was found guilty to accessory after the fact and was sentenced. He also received the same sentence as Carlos Ortiz. So this actually brings the Hernandez Odin Lloyd murder trial to a close. Now, I don't know if Aaron Hernandez is going to try to appeal the murder conviction. I believe his first attempt failed, so I don't know what he has left after that, but it doesn't look good for him. He already got life without the possibility of parole. Now he's facing a double murder trial. Now, just my thoughts on Carlos Ortiz. I figured that he was going to plea after he found out that Ernest Wallace was acquitted of murder, but he received accessory after the fact. Then I guess that set Carlos Ortiz legal team up to say, hey, let's go ahead and settle. And, he got 4 to 7.5 years in prison. That's a long time, but he still, he still has the possibility that he's going to get out. He still has hope. He still could change his life around. And I'm sure he learned from this situation. Now, Aaron Hernandez, on the other hand, he has life without parole. He's done. But we will be covering the double murder trial when that takes place. But again, as I said before with Ernest Wallace, Carlos Ortiz also dodged a major bullet. Yes, he was convicted of accessory after the fact, but that's better. Trust me, that's better than murder one. And again, we will never know what the motive was unless the only way we're truly going to know if Ernest Wallace gets out of jail or Carlos Ortiz gets out of jail and decides to give an interview. Maybe they need some money. Maybe they want to write a book. Maybe that's the only way we're going to find out. There's still a lot of unanswered questions here. Why would he kill Odin Lloyd? This was his fiance's sister's boyfriend. Why would you do that? So there's a lot of unanswered questions there, but that wraps up the Odin Lloyd case. May he continue to rest in peace. Again, my condolences goes out to his family, friends. Maybe this should put that to rest now that Carlos Ortiz case is done. And I really honestly do not think Aaron Hernandez will win an appeal. He's done. Life without parole. Without the possibility of parole. Unbelievable for somebody to sign a $40 million contract and throw it all away. But anyway, I would like to hear your comments. But again, we will cover the double murder trial when that happens. I'm not sure of the dates as of right now, but when we get that information, we will share it. Until next time.